Hi Leo, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name's Carol, and this is going to be a general reading for mid-December 2024. And in today's reading, I'm going to be using the Tarot Grand Luxe as well as clarifying with the Tarot Vintage. And I have one announcement before I begin the reading, and that is I'm going to be changing the format of my readings. So I normally give you a reading, a monthly reading, and then I give you a mid-month reading. So that's 2 readings a month. And I'm going to be now putting out readings one at a time. And so, Aquarius reading might come out one day, and then in a couple days, maybe another reading for another sign. And it's just going to cycle through. There aren't going to be any dates on my readings. So when the reading comes to you, it's meant for you. And we're going to see how that works out. I'm going to try that for a bit. And then, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at a pattern that is showing up in your life for healing right now. And if I had to pick one thing that, really can tell us a lot about what's coming up for healing for us, is to take a look at what patterns you're noticing in your life. Excuse me. What sort of people are you are entering your life, the same kind of patterns over and over? What kind of behaviors are happening with you? People are showing you certain things, and they're repeating, and you're very much aware of this, what's going on with your emotions, So we're going to look at something like that will come up for you. All right, so let's ask the tarot for one card for what pattern is showing up in Leo's life right now. And you have the 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. And then so this is your outer world at the top. This is what you're consciously aware of. If I had to sit down with you, have a conversation with you, you could tell me what this is, what's going on with you right now. Quite, because it's a pattern, that it's repeating and you're aware of it. And so the next line is going to be what aspect from your shadow is driving this. And our shadow is something that sits in our unconscious. We don't know what's in it. It's all those things we put away when we were younger. It's the repressed things about ourselves that maybe we don't like. People told us about ourselves that there was something that was wrong with us. Our emotions we weren't allowed to show. Well, you put those away. Trauma's there, big emotions, memories are there, and believe it or not, we have gifts in there, things that we came here to do on this planet called Earth. Our purpose is sitting in our shadow because oftentimes that is repressed and shunned by people around us, So that is what's going to have the biggest impact on this, because our shadow is our inner world. And what we see in our outer world is just a reflection of what's going on inside of us. And so let's look at what's coming up from your shadow right now. And that one just fell out. The 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is sitting in your shadow. And I'm going to ask for some advice from the tarot as to how you can start to heal this. And that's the hardest thing, because it's overwhelming. Sometimes we don't know where to start. So we're going to get some direction here from the tarot as to how you can start to heal this. One card. You have 2 cards here. You have the Magician in reverse. And you have the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. And that's how you start to heal this. All right, let's take the Tarot Vintage. And it's been pre-shuffled as well. Can I have a couple cards for the 7 of Swords, please? One here that's turned over. And I need one more. So you have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse and the 4 of Swords in reverse. And this Ten of Swords. A couple cards for that, please. King of Swords in reverse. And the Four Cups in reverse. And finally, one or two cards right here. Ten of Swords for a second time. And the Three of Swords. I'm going to say you have a lot of sword energy because you've probably heard me say the word sword a few times. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of 10 cards, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 out of 10 is, I feel like I have to sneeze. Hope I don't have to sneeze. Probably have to turn the camera up if I sneeze. Maybe not. Okay, you have 6 out of 10 cards that are sword energy. So I think it's important to talk about sword energy. Sword energy is our mental energy. And so the sword itself when you have a lot of swords, it means that you're very much in your head. And our swords can also be these things that we're told about ourselves when we're younger, you know, and we continue to hear them, and it's kind of like on repeat in our head because these are the things that people told you. And so this is how you've mentally formed this image of yourself through what people told you. And those are our swords. And the sword by itself, the Ace of Swords, is your truth. It's your authenticity. It's who you are. It's what you use to cut through that bullshit of all those other opinions, those mental thoughts that you have about yourself that you got from other people growing up. And so we're going to start off with the Seven of Swords here. And, you know, this talks a lot about what I just talked about. And this is the 7. This is called the Thief card. This individual that has, you know, stolen these 5 swords right here. But, you know, there's 2 here that's remaining. It's interesting because I've recently looked at this card and thought, you know, these are the 2 swords that, you know, that are really the authentic self here, what this person really is. But they're running away with these 5 that other people told them about themselves of, you know. And so, yeah, that's what the Seven of Swords is. It's like these things that you've inherited from other people and you continue to believe them. And this is what's happening is you are hearing these things in your head. And, you know, maybe you're doing a lot of spinning in your head. But the things that you're hearing in your head, you're not good enough, you know, you're this, you're that, and all those things that people told you about, you are continuing to believe that that's the real you. And then the next card that comes up is the 6 of Pentacles, and it's in reverse in an upright position. My 6s have a duality to them. And in this particular instance, you have this this individual that is handing out these coins to these beggars. And if they think they're worth 3 coins, he gives them 3 coins. You know, it's whatever he's worth, they think they're worth is what they're going to get. And so this is very much a card of unworthiness. Feeling like you're worth, feeling like you're worth something, but the unworthiness that you're feeling about yourself is the unworthiness that people gave you. And I can see here that there's a real resistance on your part to even bringing awareness to the fact that these things that you're telling yourself right here are not true, but you continue to believe them. And your entire worth and what you think your worth is based on what people told you. And here's the 4 of Swords right here in an upright position. This card talks about, you know, you're needing some time out. You are needing some time out because if you are finding that you're extremely exhausted, like I can't tell you how many people, like I know myself that for years I was like, I'm incredibly exhausted. And that exhaustion is caused by the energy that it takes to keep all of this spinning, trying to keep it in control in your head, and trying to battle it. It takes a lot, and you're being asked here to take some time out for you, to take some time out to look at these swords that you believe about yourself. It's time to look at this, but you're not. You're not going to take time out. You're continuing to try to, run on this hamster wheel and hearing all these things in your head and believing them. And that's a cycle for you. It's a cycle for you because it keeps on cycling, and it's a pattern that, everything that comes through your head, you believe it. And it's just, you're trying so hard to shut off your head, but you're not taking time out for yourself to maybe do some grounding and to try to get back into your body and to get out of your head and find out where these swords are coming from. So let's take a look at where these swords, these belief systems, and I guess I didn't say that word. These are the swords, or your beliefs. I call them belief systems. These are the beliefs, right? Beliefs that people told you, and you believe them. And in your shadow here are all, this is the 10 of swords. The 10 is the end of a cycle. And so when you were younger, this is what happened to you. When all these people told you these things, it did you in. It absolutely did you in. And when it does do you in, what happens is you get the King of Swords that comes into this picture here. And so who is the king in my deck? The king is wants you to become aware. So this card, it's a court card. It wants you to become aware of this particular part of you. The kings are my masculine part. We all have a feminine and a masculine part. It has nothing to do with gender. So we have feminine qualities that are often pushed away, shoved away, hidden in our shadow. Society hides them. Beautiful qualities that I talk about when they come up. And then you have this ego self here. When you were a child and these painful things were, you heard these painful things from people. Things were done to you. People said things to you. Maybe you were bullied, and people, and so you took these on. You took these on, and they become too painful for you to handle. So the king comes in here, this King of Swords, and he's our ego self. He's like a protector, and he comes in and he tells you, these things that people told you, well, you put them away, shove them away, and then we're going to put on masks. Or I'm going to give you these masks, and you're going to go out in society and you're going to wear these masks now. Because the real you've hidden. You weren't allowed to be who you were. And so the ego will definitely keep us up in our head, and it'll protect us. And it'll keep doing that. It was like a protector for us when we were younger, and guess what? It's a protector for us when we're older, but it still thinks that we're young, and it still thinks that we have to put all these masks and bury our real self. And this is what's happening with you with all these swords in your first line here, where you continue to believe these things that people told you. And this king wants nothing to do with authenticity, wants nothing to do with you getting back in your body and trying to figure out, taking time out for yourself right now and trying to figure out, who are you? Like, are these really true? Are these things that you believe that people told you about yourself? And that king is going to do a darn good job of keeping you up in your head so you do not go in your body. It doesn't like emotions. It's petrified of emotions, our ego self. And the last card here is This individual, this is in reverse, but in an upright position, this is an individual here. When you were younger, here's all your emotions down here, your cups. And you know, when you tried to feel something, and you shut down. Like, and there's like another offer here. It's like an Ace of Cups, and the universe said, you know, here's another offer for you to feel. Here's another offer for you to go a bit deeper. And it's just like, no, you crossed your arms and you shut down everything. You shut down your emotions. And so that's why you are up in your head, because you learned at a very young age not to touch your emotions. And you learned to take on all these things that people told you about yourself. And your ego self is making sure that you stay up in your head so you don't touch these emotions. And you stay up in your head and you believe, you continue to spin on these things that people told you. And you believe them. And so where do you go? How do you get out of this? Where do you start? And so the first card that comes in before it was clarified by the Nine of Wands. And this is the advice here from the tarot. So the first card is the Magician in reverse. The Magician in an upright position, number 1 of the Major Arcana card. This particular Magician is what we call the Master Manifester. It can bring anything into existence. And we have this power, believe it or not. We have this power. It's in reverse for you. But what it means for me is that you have the power in you. And I was told that when I began my own healing journey, that I had everything in me. And I didn't want to hear that, because I wanted people to tell me what to do, because that's what I was raised in. A family that told me what I was like, told me what to do, very controlling. This particular Magician is very, very grounded. And so he can manifest things when he's grounded. And if you try to manifest things when you're not grounded, you will bring in the wrong people in your life. I think there's a big part of you that believes, that doesn't trust that you have it in you to change this situation. I think you're very much feeling like this individual right here, right? Who has just had so many burdens here, and he's come back from a battle. And it's like, I think you believe, you're so much in your head, you believe your belief of yourself is so strongly based on, formed by what others told you. And so you don't believe that you have it in you to change this. But the universe is saying, listen here. Here's the Nine of Wands, somebody that's been through a lot. You have it in you. You have the power to change this by putting up some boundaries for yourself. And this is so hard. People say, well, I don't know what boundaries are. What does that mean? I'm going to ask you something. What is it in your life right now that you just don't want to, that you won't accept anymore from people? What is it? If you had a choice right now, I'm not saying if you had the power, but if you had a choice right now, what is like the 1 or 2 things that you would say, I am not willing to put up with this anymore? And that's what this card is. That card says, well, that's where you're going to go. That's where you're going to go. You're going to go in that direction. And you're going to start to say to yourself, I'm not willing to put up with this anymore. And then when that does come in for you, that's when you're going to start to set some boundaries around, you know, what it is that you're not going to take anymore. You're done. And because look what these 10 of Swords are doing to you. This is what they've done to you. And this boundary card is coming up for protection. We use boundaries to protect ourselves. I know they're the hardest thing in the world to do, to set a boundary with someone else. But, and that's, I think that's why, because you have this into this self-worth card at the beginning where you feel like there's no way I can set a boundary with somebody. You don't feel good enough to set a boundary. But the universe wants to bring you to a place where you start to set boundaries with people very, very small. Make the smallest boundary you can, just to start in that direction. And that's going to lead to some real healing here, because you need to heal this. You need to heal these mental thoughts that you have about yourself, because it's not you. I want to leave you with a playlist on grounding and how to get back into your body and starting to feel, start to heal some of these things that people told you about. And I'm also going to leave you with your December reading that I did for you. And I want you to have compassion for yourself, Leo. I know that this is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey back to your authenticity and who you are. And thanks for watching my video, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.